Carmen! Where are you? And what is the meaning of this?
Oh, hello, Jessica. I was expecting your call. I guess you found the package that I left for you. What seems to be the problem? Did you see my note?
You really don't think there's any problem with what you've done? You left your child at my front door without saying anything. Rover is not just a package. Do you not have any common sense? Did you forget that he's just a preschooler?
Stop calling me because I can't pick up right now. I'm on a packed subway, so I don't want to bother the other passengers.
Then come back and get your son, now.
What? Who do you think you are, telling me what to do?
You can't just leave your son at my doorstep with nothing but a note asking me to watch him for a while. I didn't even realize anyone was out there for at least 30 minutes. He could have been kidnapped by a stranger in that time. What were you thinking?
Well, what was I supposed to do? I had no other choice since there was no one else who could watch my son on such short notice. And I just couldn't bring him with me this time.
What do you mean? Where are you going?
I couldn't ask my husband to watch him because that's just out of the question. And both my parents and in-laws live too far away. They wouldn't be able to get here in time.
Wait, but didn't you mention that your husband was in the hospital recently? Is he doing better now?
Oh no, he's still hospitalized. And I have no idea when he's going to be discharged. That's why I had to leave my son with you. You're the only person I can rely on right now. We're both a mother to young children, so we have to help each other out in times of need. And I just really need your help this time. Besides, I would do the same for you if we were in opposite situations. I'm just asking you to babysit him for a few days. Is that too much to ask?
Of course, I'm more than happy to help, but this goes way beyond babysitting. And still, you can't just leave your son on my doorstep without letting me know beforehand. You didn't even have the courtesy to ask if we were even available. What if we were planning to go out tonight?
Oh, so what are you saying? Are you just going to kick my poor baby out of your house and make him stay on your doorstep until you get back?
What?
He's only 5! Are you really going to force a 5-year-old to stay outside all night? Is he supposed to sleep on your front lawn or something? That's just cruel!
That's not what I'm saying! Of course I'm going to take him in! I'm just saying that it's common courtesy to ask beforehand, because it's a big responsibility to take in someone's child. But first of all, this is your problem, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't involve me and my family in the first place. Why is it so important for you to go on this vacation anyways? Especially now, when your husband is in the hospital. Don't you even care about his well-being?
What are you saying? So I can't even take a vacation? What about my well-being? I need to take a break once in a while, too.
No. All I'm saying is that you need to get your priorities straight. Any reasonable person should know that this isn't the best time to be taking a vacation for themselves. It just seems a bit selfish because your family needs you right now. Don't you have any common sense?
Oh, be quiet. You have no right to be sticking your nose into our private business. All you need to do is to watch Rover for a few days. Is that too much to ask for?
This is ridiculous. You didn't even ask if it would be okay to leave your son with me. You just dropped him off in front of our door. The poor boy. He must have been so scared.
I'm sure he was fine. Oh, and one more thing. Since you're already watching Rover while I'm away, why don't you also take care of my husband as well? You know, visiting him in the hospital so he doesn't get lonely and making sure he doesn't need anything. He has a really big sweet tooth, but there's hardly enough of a selection in the hospital cafeteria. Maybe you can bring him some donuts and cookies from time to time. It shouldn't be too hard.
You're kidding, right?
And Rover knows which hospital his father is staying at, so you can just ask him.
No, this is absolutely ridiculous. I can't possibly agree to take on that task. I've never even met your husband.
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fine. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
Wait, Carmen! Carmen, you can't do this! Carmen? I was in a bit of a panic the other day, so I forgot to ask you something important. When will you be back from your trip? You just needed like a day or two to refresh your mind, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention when I'm coming back. My bad. But I'll be home in like 2 weeks or so.
2 weeks? Isn't that a long time to be away from your son and husband? I thought that you would be back by now.
Oh no, don't be silly. That's much too soon. I'm in Australia right now. A few days is nowhere near enough time to take in all the sights.
Australia? You're overseas?
Yep. Didn't I tell you that I was traveling abroad? So, you see, that's why I won't be home yet.
Are you being serious? Not only is your husband in the hospital right now, but you left your 5-year-old son here with me. I'm not even a relative of yours. You can't just hand him off to me like this. I think I asked you this before, but is this trip really that important? Did you even consider how it's affecting your family? And you're not coming back for another 2 weeks. Please, tell me this is all just a joke.
It's not a joke. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm really in Australia right now.
Why would you even plan such a long trip at this timing in the first place? If I'm not mistaken, you said that your husband has been hospitalized since last month, right? You could have canceled or at least postponed this trip for a better time. There must have been enough time for you to make alternate arrangements. Why didn't you consider those options?
What? No way! It didn't even cross my mind to cancel or postpone this trip. My travel companion was finally able to get some time off. There was just no way I was going to miss this opportunity. And I couldn't possibly reschedule this trip for personal reasons of mine. He's very busy, you know. Who knows when the next time he'll be able to take such a long break from work will be.
Wait, I thought you were taking this vacation alone. But you're with another man? And it's just the two of you?
Oh, it's not a big deal. He's just a friend from high school. We had our high school reunion earlier this year and we just hit it off then. We weren't exactly that close back then, but it turns out we have a lot in common, like our love for traveling. So we had been talking about traveling abroad together for months and we finally made it happen. I've been looking forward to this trip all year.
But if he's your friend, don't you think that he would understand the situation that you're in right now? Did you even talk to him about it? And I'm sure that it can't be such a good feeling for you either, leaving your son and husband behind like this. Especially since your husband is in the hospital. You must be sick with worry and feeling really guilty.
Not at all. I'm having a really great time, actually. I'm really glad that I decided to take this trip.
What?
Oh, look. My friend is calling for me, so I'm gonna go now. Talk to you later.
Wait, Carmen! We're not finished with this conversation yet. Jessica, thank you so much for stopping by earlier. This is Alex, Carmen's husband. Oh, hello. Thank you for letting me in and listening to what I had to say as well. Although I'm really sorry for showing up at the hospital unannounced like that. And also for the things I had to tell you. I'm sure it wasn't anything you wanted to hear from someone you just met for the first time, especially in a hospital setting. It's nothing for you to apologize about. I'm glad that you came to see me. I was starting to wonder why Carmen hasn't been here for the past few days. But now I know. However, I never expected that she would be overseas while leaving our son with you. I'm sorry that she's caused such an inconvenience to you and your family. But as I told you when you were here, I've already been in touch with my parents. They're already on their way and should be arriving tomorrow morning. I'm sorry to burden you any more than necessary, but I would really appreciate it if you would watch Rover until then. They promise to pick him up as soon as they can.
Of course. That's not a problem. And please, take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, Jessica. How is my baby boy doing? And guess what? I'm still in Australia. I was supposed to leave today, but I changed my mind.
What? You changed your mind?
Yep. There's just so much to do here. So I'm going to stay here for a while longer. Australia is such a great country. I can't possibly go home without seeing and experiencing everything. So do me a favor and take care of my son and husband for a few more days, okay? This is so great! It'll give me more time to go play with baby koalas today. Did you know that there's a cafe where you can actually hug them? I'm just so excited.
Carmen, there's something you need to know.
What is it? Didn't I tell you that I have a busy day today?
It's your husband. He passed away just this morning.
What?
The hospital said that his condition took a sudden turn for the worse in the middle of the night. And unfortunately, he was unable to recover, even though the doctors did everything they could. He died this morning. Right now, his parents are taking care of all the paperwork and handling the funeral arrangements.
What? I don't understand. This is just a joke, right? How am I supposed to react to that? This isn't funny, you know.
Oh, Carmen. You have no idea how much I wish it were just a joke.
What? No. Tell me you're just lying. You're just trying to get back at me because I left my son with you for so long. Right? You want to make me feel bad about what I did. Right?
Carmen, this is nothing to joke about. Your husband's parents came to pick up Rover right away, so he hasn't been staying with me since we last spoke.
What? You contacted my in-laws?
Well, Alex was the one who called them as soon as I told him what was going on. His parents arrived the following morning and picked up your son. They've been taking care of your husband since then as well. Until this morning, that is.
What? This can't be happening.
And there's also something else. There's no point hiding the fact that you're having an affair anymore. We all know the truth.
What?
As a matter of fact, aren't you on vacation with your lover right now?
But how do you know that?
Alex told us everything. By the way, it seemed like your husband was long aware of your infidelity. So if it weren't for his sudden hospitalization, he was planning to hire a lawyer to start the divorce proceedings.
Are you serious?
If you don't believe me, why don't you call his parents and ask them directly? I'm sure they will be more than happy to give you a piece of their mind.
My in-laws?
Yes. Your husband apparently revealed everything to them, so they know exactly what's been going on. They can tell you more than I'll ever be able to.
No way. I don't want to talk to them.
Huh? Why not? Don't you want to know more about everything that happened?
Well, yeah. But I know that they'll just lecture me about what a bad wife and mother I am. They never liked me much anyways. And if that's the case, I'd much rather enjoy the rest of my vacation before heading home. I think I'll wait to face my in-laws until they start discussing Alex's inheritance.
Are you insane? You're not even going to come back for your husband's funeral?
I guess not. I mean, it's not going to change the fact that he's gone. So what difference does it make? And even if I do go back, I'm only going to be insulted for my failures anyways. Don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely devastated by this news. Maybe I just don't want to leave yet because that means I'll have to accept the reality of the situation. I honestly didn't expect my husband to pass away while I was away. But nothing I do now is going to bring him back. The only thing I can do is to move on and continue living my life as a widow now.
Just so you know, I'm with your husband's parents right now.
What do you mean?
I was already involved in all this from the moment you decided to leave Rover with me, so it just felt like my obligation to help out with the funeral arrangements. We're actually at the funeral home together right now, when you just so happened to message me with your ridiculous excuses. And I'm sure that you can imagine, but I immediately showed all of your replies to them.
What? How dare you? Why would you do such a thing?
They were absolutely furious with you at first, but they said that it wasn't completely unexpected coming from you. And in fact, there are a few things they wanted me to convey to you.
Like what?
Well, first, your divorce had already been finalized before your husband passed away.
What? How is that even possible?
Well, isn't it true that you kept a set of divorce papers in the drawer of your nightstand? Already filled out and signed with your name?
Well... Wait, don't tell me.
I don't know the exact details of how they actually discovered those papers, but it looks like your assumption is right. Your husband just had to fill in his information, sign his name, and submit it to court. So I'm sure that you can figure out what I'm about to say next, but you no longer have any rights to your late husband's inheritance.
You're kidding, right?
And they're still in the middle of the process, but your in-laws are demanding to take custody of Rover.
What?
They're even thinking of legally adopting him.
What do you mean by that? I am his mother. There's no way that I'll let my son be adopted by his grandparents. I'm more than able to take care of him myself. Do you honestly think that is actually possible? No judge is going to approve of that arrangement.
Sure, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty certain that it'll be approved.
What?
Don't you have any idea what you've done? Think about it for a second. First of all, you disregarded the fact that your husband had been in the hospital for more than a month, just so you can go on an overseas rendezvous with your lover. And not only that, you just decided to leave your 5-year-old son on my doorstep, with no plans to come back for more than 2 weeks. If you ask me, that's no different than abuse, which is a crime. There's absolutely no way that you're fit to raise a child. Besides, who knows when you'll just abandon Rover again for another selfish reason? I'm sure your in-laws felt the same way. That's why they stepped up and offered to raise your son in your place. It's the best solution for everyone involved.
But what about my son? What does he say about all of this? He's a big mama's boy. There's no one in this world that he loves more than his mommy. There's no way he'll want to be separated from me.
I wouldn't be so sure. He clearly said that he doesn't want to live with a mommy who doesn't take care of his daddy.
No way. But he's never said anything like that.
His words, not mine. And unlike you, he's very thoughtful of his sick father as well. He's still young, but he's very observant. You can't hide what you've been doing from him. Maybe your lies worked on someone else, but not with your own family. Anyways, you completely betrayed his trust this time. He must be so heartbroken. And it may be hard to believe, but even young children are very aware of what goes on around them. Especially when it's something that concerns the people who are supposed to love them unconditionally. To be honest, I'm not even surprised by Rover's reaction. It's what you deserve.
I can't believe this. So, what am I supposed to do now?
Oh, and there's one last thing.
What? There's more? Don't you think that you've already given me enough bad news? My life is absolutely ruined.
Well, the deed on your family home is under your father-in-law's name, so obviously it no longer belongs to you. And actually, he's decided to put the house up for sale next month. The house needs to be cleared out as soon as possible, so all of your belongings were packed up and shipped to your parents' house the other day. They want to get the contractors in right away to start renovations.
What? You went through my stuff without my permission? And you sent them to my parents' house? What are they going to say about all this? Why would you do such a terrible thing?
Terrible? Do you even know what you're talking about? You're the last person in this world who should be saying that anything is terrible. Unless you're talking about your own actions.
But it's not fair!
Maybe you should know this, but when I first visited your husband in the hospital, he was unbelievably polite towards me. It was the first time we had met each other, but he was just really grateful for everything I was doing for his family. And he kept thanking me for going to see him, for taking care of his son, and for getting along with his parents. I thought that he was just a very conscientious person, but I guess there was a deeper meaning to his words. It's too late now, but I think I understand what he was trying to say.
Well, what do you want me to do about it now?
Why don't you just come home as soon as you can? There's nothing you can do if you're not even in the country. And when you come back, perhaps you'll finally realize the truth about what you've done. The things you've said and done were cruel and unacceptable. But it's too late to change the facts now. I hope you end up living the rest of your life in regret. For all I care. Carmen ended up booking the next flight home and was back in the country by the following day. She rushed to her parents' house as soon as she got out of the airport, but it wasn't soon enough. Her parents were already aware of everything that happened and refused to welcome her back as their daughter. They were absolutely disgusted by her behavior and ended up cutting all ties with her in the end. After that, Carmen's in-laws were officially able to adopt Rover, so he will be raised by his grandparents from now on. In exchange for not claiming any monetary payment for damages, Carmen's in-laws made her promise that she will neither see nor be involved in her son's life whatsoever from that moment on. She broke things off with her lover, but unfortunately, he was already married to someone else at the time of their affair. As such, Carmen was ordered to pay his wife a large settlement for damages. Because of her selfishness, Carmen ended up losing her family and her home, as well as everything else that was important to her. But since she still has to pay her many debts, she has no choice but to live and work a sad, meaningless life. She spends every day full of regret, but she no longer has anyone that will console her anymore. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content.